totally. Where are all the T's?
That's a lot of T's for one cast.
It is. Well, luckily it's just me and you for the cast.
Many.
That's the main thing.
It's too big.
Eager versus Noble. This is a big game too. Eager, obviously, we talked about them needing points. Noble as well. For me, Noble are kind of giant killers, totally. Like, against the tough opposition, they really step up.
Absolutely. They found a split. They also, I think they beat In Memory of Gabe earlier on in this split. They did fantastic work earlier on, and now they're jostling for a better position in the gauntlet.
Yeah, that's the main thing for them to do. They may be able, can they even slip into the top 2 potentially if things go their way? I don't think so with their point situation.
Right now, they're at 5 points.
4, 5,
yeah, they can't really make it unless Luminosity just lose out completely and everyone else loses out, then potentially, but it's a long stretch.
Well, Cabrakan is locked in for Eager. It gets through the banning phase, and we saw it over in Europe being banned consistently. Why are we seeing Cabrakan so much all of a sudden? He's just come out of nowhere.
It's just a damage mitigator between his aura. He initiates very well. He prevents being rooted with his first steroid ability. And on top of that, the flex potential between the support, jungle, and solo lane makes it very difficult to know where that god's going.
Well, with Nike locked in, it doesn't give too much away because we could see a role play that in the support role, DJ in the jungle, or even Devios in the solo lane. More than likely, I want to say Devios for that one, because we've seen him go there before.
He's known to be playing a lot of Guardians in the solo lane recently, specifically the Terra, but with this Cabrakan pick, I wouldn't be surprised if DJ Pernicus plays it. Nike last week was played by Devios, actually.
Well, Guan Yu banned out and Geb by Noble Esports. A little bit concerned about some sustain coming out there, as well as the protections that Geb will give with those shields as well. Noir to take away a safety pick for MLC Stealth in the mid lane here.
This is something that he's been known to play. Whenever he has an option to pick a god that's going to be relatively safe and that could peel for himself, he'll go for this kind of Noir pick, and then he'll synergize very well with wherever Chapo decides to gank in the jungle role. He'll just throw out the ultimate. So a great ban by Eager.
Zapman's going to be playing Scardy this game. I was trying to work out how to say that funny, because normally there's like Zapolo and stuff like that, and Zapulate, but how can you go Scardy to Zap?
Trying to think of Kaldir, maybe?
Scardy. Oh. No, I don't think you can do that.
No.
Zaldir,
I guess. He's the dog.
Bit too hard, though. But Bacchus locked in, which tells me Cabrakan will be in the jungle. Raw is the final pick for MSC Stealth here. Very sustain-heavy composition out of Noble Esports here. When you look at Eager, however, a lot of AoE engage.
And it's a great lockdown as well that they have with the Cabrakan ultimate that can synergize very well with the Bast, throwing out the Kraken, trying to lock down Ra here, which is surprising the fact that they even picked Ra here, considering the fact that Bacchus was already locked and has a little bit of anti-healing. Cabrakan ultimate is going to be very annoying for MLC Stealth. And then just the burst damage potential for the Best's Kraken. And look, immediately to respond, though, MLC Stealth picking up the Aegis.
Yeah, picking up the Aegis to start things off, because he's not too worried about, I guess, he's more worried than anything about the Bacchus flop for beads and as well Cabrakan stuns. So as long as he can stay away from those two things and see it coming, if he can Aegis at the right time, he'll be able to absorb a lot of the damage, which is generally going to be that Kraken follow-up.
And the good thing about Ra is you can always use that Searing Pain ultimate to make you have that CC immune ultimate. So anytime he's expecting to get dove on by either Aurora or Divios with a knockup, if he sees DJ Pernicus charging at him, flailing his arms around, he can prevent that stun.
And you talk about Aegis as well, with DJ Pernicus and the Cabrakan starting towards the mid lane at the moment, it seems, which means we'll see a battle over in the Hunter role between Woey and Zapman, who'll be left alone. But DJ started off with Aegis as well here. He's worried about the all-in potential.
And the thing is about DJ Pernicus is he's going to be basically immobile during the Tremors, making it a very easy target for Stealth to target him with his Beam and Searing Pain combination.
And with the Whirlpool added to the fact of the Tremors, it's very difficult for them to get away here, Noble. The Tremors are still going down. The Aegis has already been used. And there's Best just swinging for the houses with that noodle, trying to bring down Stealth a little bit more. But lane pressure goes the way of Eager.
Wubbin and MLC Stealth slightly miscommunicated there. The Aegis was used by Stealth and Wubbin used the Meditate at the same time. But while you're Aegis, you don't receive damage or receive healing.
Good call there. Now they're going to steal away the babies from the speed buff, go towards the blue. The problem is, though, is there's 4 members of Noble here. DJ's going to Aegis early. Aurora now turns up with the flop to disengage DJ more than anything else. In the end, Eager only get the 2 baby camps from both the speed and the blue.
It was a great steal, though, by Wubbin, because he actually stole the 2 little blue ones with the root. They would have hit level 2 between the Best and DJ Pernicus. They were relying on that, and then maybe could have turned the potential of being level 2 against level 1.
So now. The Elemental's going to go the way of Eager there. Right-hand Harpy's being looked at by both Aurora, Chapo, Woman, Stealth, and now DJ joins the fight as well. Noble will pick those ones up for themselves. And now we're starting to see the synergy once again that we saw in Season 3, where you see the mid, the jungle, and the support all playing together.
A lot of different starts between a lot of different teams here, whether they want to put 2 in middle, 2 in the dual lane, or 2 in the solo lane. In this game, it's been an option for both teams to just leave the Hunters alone. It's going to be the Zaman versus Wowie match, and Medusa versus Scotty, and who's going to get the better end of it. Both of them electing to build the same way, going for the Bluestone boot option.
And Nike as well. You don't see too much of that out of many people since the changes that have happened to her. Consistently nerfed just to make sure she was brought in line. Her ultimate, her passive more than anything, not necessarily ultimate. Her passive was just so good in the global thing that it was a constant first pick, first ban material. But now she's seen as an average sort of character to be picking up.
And the reasoning why behind that is a lot of teams have figured out how to play against the Nike. It's very easy to see her long distance jump coming. It's very slow unless you use your steroid ability to be able to amplify it quicker. But if you use it that way, now you're not going to have that extra strike during your first ability.
First gank on the left-hand side from Chapo here, looking at Zap. Immediately, he'll get the beats thanks to the Cobra's Kiss as Wowie just hits 5.
Exactly. That's why the Purification Beats was used, because Zapman recognized Wowie was going to hit level 5 off that wave. Whenever you're in a Hunter position, whether you're Hunter versus Hunter, solo versus solo, the experience is relatively the same as long as no one else has touched the wave on either side. So recognizing his own experience bar, Zapman realized, okay, I'm close to 5. That means Wowie's close to 5 as well. This gank from Chapo is too much of a threat. I have to beat this.
And Chapo's still hanging around this left-hand side at the moment, but with the pressure of Aurora being on that left-hand side, it appears he's going to head back towards mid. Most players starting to hit level 5 now. Best has his Kraken available, and Devios is just a little bit behind Uzi at the moment.
And the reasoning behind this is because of the start here. It was Devios and Aurora that started in the solo lane, whereas we're going to see Uzi that started in the solo lane with Chapo. The Circuit provides a little bit more damage there than that early pressure. Devios and Aurora not the greatest between the Bacchus and the Nike, so they were able to get out-cleared.
And obviously on top of that out-clear, they also got the experience from the blue and the speed, which is not what Devios got as well. The rest of his team were the ones that did the blue and the speed last time round. Still no kills in this game though, totally, but that's kind of how the situation seems to be developing in Season 4 now, is that the early game, it used to be very early game focused, but now most teams seem to have worked out the early game and they play from mid to late.
Also, getting later on to the split, teams are being very cautious about how they proceed into these games. We saw a lot of invades in the beginning of the split, but now teams have decided to take their foot off the gas pedal, slow it down, wait for the enemy team to kind of make a move and see what they can take advantage off of it.
I'm talking about making a move. Chapo sneaking his way over to the right-hand side for a moment, but Devios just seems to be aware. He's just quite happy to sit back. He's in an experience range here, not too worried about it, just in case Chapo was lurking in the area.
Devios is playing very cautiously because of the threat from Chapo's potential gank, even building into the mark of the Vanguard. Now, honestly, obviously because of the fact that the Circuit ultimate negates the physical protections of you, but the Mark of the Vanguard passive will still prevent that tick damage.
Nice little pull from Wobbin there in the mid lane onto DJ, but no real follow-up available for Stealth there as he just cleared the wave. Did open up an opportunity for Eager to get the right and Harpies this time. Left ones, though, we could see a nice little spicy fight between 8 members of these two teams.
Everyone has a lot of mana to engage. El Chapo is here, though. It's a 4-on-3 for Noble. Nice double knock, but Sandman's right around the corner.
That Petrify was beautiful. It's going to allow Chapo to go in and clean up a Raw. Next up, he ults Best, and Best is in a bit of trouble now as well. Luckily enough, Zapman's there to help out with Calder, but it's not enough to keep the Best alive, and Chapo gets a nice meditation.
Even Uzi made the rotation as well, so all 5 members from Noble, they found 2 quick picks just like that. It was a very slow game to start, but Uzi is here. 5 members. Noble going to take advantage of these 2 picks immediately into Gold Fury.
And this Gold Fury is going to go down for free. You can see Zapman still in lane at the moment, used his ultimate in that little engagement as well. So not only did they get the 2 kills, and one of those would be first blood for the bonus gold, but they get the Gold Fury as well. We spoke about Noble, Totally, and how they kind of play up. They're kind of giant killers, these guys. They will take splits against some of the big teams.
They had the better jungle fight encounter between having Sylvanas and the Medusa. These are the 2 gods you really want to be able to synergize your ultimates off of. Whenever you find the knockup, especially onto a guard, if you can catch Aurora out of position, he's going to be guaranteed petrified. He doesn't have any sort of CC immunity.
Medusa as well. The one thing about Medusa this season, she's the highest killing hunter in the game, over 100 kills so far in the split. Even though she's not like considered one of the top bans at the moment, she's getting consistent kills totally in all stages of the game.
In the solo lane matchup, we're seeing Divios getting out-traded here. This is a result of Uzi being able to max out his Sickening Strike, whereas Divios, he's maxing out his clear, and as a result, his second ability, his steroid, he doesn't have the HP 5 necessary to really deal with it. This is why he's going for the Health Chalice.
The Health Chalice will help him out a little bit there. We'll see where he ends up building towards after the Health Chalice as well. At the moment, though, you can see he's continuing to farm up, looking for camps, but Chapo is wrapped around the back of Divios here, and I don't think Divios is aware of it. The ultimate available for Chapo now, and Ozzy keeping Divios busy at the back. Divios got a leap at the right time. The kiss was beautiful, but the problem was he got knocked up. Bad news is Divios still in trouble. The snipe that came through from Stealth was almost going to hit, but Divios should still fall here at the end, thanks to the help of Uzi, and his ultimate DJ manages to catch Chapo, and now Uzi.
Chapo jumped into danger. Aurora was right around the corner, but the best is not being done chased. MLC Stealth really wants this one. It's a 1-on-3. Nice meditate, but MLC Stealth bit off a little bit more than he can chew.
Didn't keep an eye on the rotation coming back from Eager there.
And Wubbin, his meditation just popped up now, so he wasn't able to get in position to save MLC Stealth. Just unfortunate disconnect there. Stealth really was too greedy for the best. Now, sometimes whenever there's a player that's really low to killing, to death, ooh,
like that. Like that example
like
there,
that.
totally.
Whether or not WoWie got the kill, this is a thing that you have to be able to take advantage of. If a low mid mage, you're still going to be able to outfarm them because they can't even come close to the wave. You have several options of what you want to do. You either out-clear them and rotate for more jungle camps, or you freeze the wave, forcing them to back, and then you clear.
Well, we still hung around here, and I don't think DJ recognized that one. Forced to ages after a nice little root pull combo. Chapo there to follow up as well, looking for the kisses to slow down DJ more, but DJ Pernicus is Cabrakan and has that Vanguard.
Yes, that Vanguard is very important to survive against Wubbin's Wisps, the damage from Chapo as well if he decides to throw out that ultimate. Not to mention that he could also stay in the sustain from MLC Stealth during that heal, so that's not going to be an issue for him to dive the backline.
Well, you talked about the pressure on mid lane and getting somebody low. They got the jungler low now, and they're going to steal away the speed because of that, and DJ still hanging around, gets hit by the ult by Chapo, and he will fall down.
That's one clean pick for Noble. They're a 5-2. The rotation from the best with the Kraken, but it's nice, immune by Stealth, still diving his
big
Aurora.
flop from Aurora as well. The Intoxicate did wonders. Stealth now in trouble as Zapman has turned up with Calder in tow. On the back of that, though, Worry will clean up Aurora, who went very deep to initiate that one. The bad news is for Eager, Noble get away scot-free, all back to the safety of their own half of the map.
Great two picks, taking advantage of DJ Pernicus, taking a little bit of poke during those right side mid harpies, and after clearing the mid wave, recognizing that he was alone in that speed buff, already at about 50% health, no problem at all to kill him. Even the Acres couldn't save him in that one.
Tell you what, Totally, this game right now, of how it started, is kind of living up to one of those that you could put on the list of games of the year already. Divios going to be ganked by Chapo here. Chapo has no ultimate, so he's mainly focusing on farm. Bit of miscommunication between the two, though, because I think if they would have known Ozzy had that block, they could have carried on the aggression.
Could have potentially looked for the ambush play, but either way, electing to get the farm, there's no risk, there's no real reason to try to commit to this Nike quite yet. Having this hardware amulet makes him a little bit more tanky towards Ozzy, but it's a great idea to potentially look for more ganks onto the Nike before she gets her passives online. This is a great synergy for Noble to be able to build this momentum.
The scary thing I can see from Eager's point of view, though, is where these kills that Noble have gone to. Both the junglers equal in the amount of kills they've got, but look at Wowie. 3 kills so far. These kills have actually allowed him to get a little bit ahead of Zap now as well.
WoWie's been making these great rotations and taking advantage of these corridor team fights where the Petrify is just so much more useful than Zapman's Caldera ultimate. The ultimate from the Scotty is more useful for defensive purposes. Now, it can obviously be used offensively, but you're really looking for a bunch of a grouping up for Zapman, whereas that's not that easy to do. Yeah. Whereas if you're just turning around a corner, there's many more surprise elements for the Medusa ultimate compared to Scotty.
You actually think about it. Intoxicate, Tremors, Whirlpool, and the Scotty ultimate all combined together to make just a field and a team fight that you cannot go through, you cannot move out of, and you don't get a choice in where you're going to go.
No, not at all. And this is something that Eager is going to need to start doing with DJ Pernick, is that he hasn't really been able to catch MLC Stealth out of position with that Cabrakan ultimate. So Eager only on the worser end of things. They're down 2-6, but it's only about 1,400 gold. Heading into the 11-minute mark, this is not a lead that Noble is going to be able to just run away with quite yet.
Well, they're starting to go Gold Fury for now, looking for a fight, really. And Chapo may find DJ trying to wrap around the back here, and they collapse onto DJ immediately. Ult expended early on, but DJ turns and stun stealth. The flop from Aurora is there as well. The Intoxicate, boom goes the Dynamite. Zapman gets one. Kraken will make sure Devios picks up Woman. Ozzy at the back will clean up the best, though, to make it a 2 for 2.
7 seconds was remaining on the Aegis from MLC Stealth. Didn't have that available to survive that encounter. Didn't even have time to use the Searing Pain either. So this is a great advantage for Eager, getting 2 more picks in return.
Prime example of what Cabrakan can bring there. He can tank the front line and then still turn around, stun, and set up the team. That right-hand Elemental's contested right now. Zap really wants that kill on Chapo, though. But Chapo's too far away to really continue the chase. He's got to be careful about the wraparound from Wowie.
Zapman doing a great job preventing the plug with the beads. And talking back about that last encounter, we always talk about teams having that one sacrificial lamb, and DJ Pernicus is more than happy to be that, especially like you mentioned before, the Cabrakan is one of the tankiest gods in the game with his passive, not to mention the Mark of the Vanguard, providing a lot of protection here against Chapo and Wubbin.
Well, that fight went 2 for 2, but it looks like Noble haven't finished with the Gold Fury just yet. They head back there one more time, and it doesn't look like Eager even know or feel like they can contest it after the last engagement didn't go the way they wanted it to. So they're going to lose Gold Fury for free. Aurora was just a little bit too late, trying to wrap around the back, looking for maybe a cheeky steal.
Searing Pain is a great objective secure. So is Intoxicate. Aurora was just unfortunately out of position. Second Gold Fury of the game going to Noble. First one's at 5 minutes. The second one is at 12 now, extending their lead to about 2,500, slowly but surely building upon it. This is something that Noble's been doing a great job in terms of the beginning to the split, starting to slowly getting better and better towards the end of it.
Talk about someone who's getting better and better. Ozzy on this Sobek. Ozzy from the console scene alongside Chapo, former teammates over there. He's doing very well for himself up against somebody like Devios. Yes, after all, granted, before anyone starts saying it, he is playing Sobek in the solo lane, but he's doing what he needs to, totally.
This matchup heavily favors Ozzy, honestly. He can prevent Devios from clearing anytime he wants to. He has 2 options between the pluck and the tail flip. It's almost theoretically impossible to miss the tail flip as long as you're close enough to Devios. So preventing him from clearing it is why he has a 1-level advantage. He's also having a little bit more net worth, and he's been able to outpoke Devios in the process, already top of the charts.
But when we watch the team fights as well, I like that Ozzy wrapped around the back a lot of the time, and he picked a target, and this, most of the time we've seen, he's been Best. He tries to make sure Best stays out of the fight as much as possible, and actually picked up a solo kill on him when the whole team fight went down last time.
Portal Demon being started by Noble. They really want to extend their goal lead by trying to get this 750 gold at Roar, recognizing he was out of position with Ozzy right around the corner. Did not want to get plucked into 4 members there as wow, he's making this rotation.
But they do need to defend this Portal Demon, and Noble are really trying to bait a fight for this one if they can. They're looking at DJ again. The kiss hits, and there's Ozzy round the back to make sure DJ is fully alone. Over the wall comes Devios, so trying to make sure that isn't the case. DJ will escape, but now Devios is in a bit of danger here. Has that shield to keep himself topped up for now. Both sets of teams all in one area.
The ultimate was expended by Devios, doing a little bit of damage, not too much. Surprisingly enough, Noble elected to just wait a little bit. The ice ring from Zapman, though, jumping in is Devios.
And there's a Kraken to follow it up too. The burst is good, but they're still alive. Wubbin's Wisps are coming into play alongside that Meditate as one is popped from Eager too. DJ round the back looking for somebody who's weak, and instead he gets noticed and jumped on. He turns his damage to Chapo and forces Chapo back to safety. Oh, has he got away, but not for long.
Tail flip was not enough to save his life. The burp stun is great from Aurora, setting up Zapman for a free pick. This is a great pick now finally, because Eager, they've been trading so far 1 for 1, 2 for 2, but now they finally get 1 for nothing, and they have a 5-on-4 power play for another 30 seconds. Gold Fury's still down for another 2.5 minutes, so the either option is going to be for mid-tier 1 tower or this Portal Demon.
Not just that though, Zapman's actually getting himself on the board with some of these kills too, Totally. We just mentioned how Wowie was 3-0 and Zap was 0-0-0. He's been involved in 3 kills now. It does help him to catch up his build a little bit.
And I think that's something that Eager tried to do, was allow Zapman to 1v1 Wowie in the laning phase to give Devios the passives. This is why he's playing the Nike, trying to give Zapman a little bit of an edge, using the Nike passives to win that 1v1 boxing exchange. But because of all this action, Eager hasn't been able to get that 10 kill count quite yet.
Still a close game between the two, although Noble do hold the lead for now. The Oracle's gonna go the way of Noble there as Eager took the left-hand Harpies for now. Red buff Spawn going over towards the Best, who has started working a little bit more towards his Gem of Isolation now that he's got his core first couple couple of items online.
Dynasty plate helmet complete, trying to get a little bit more penetration, a little bit of physical protection, which is rather surprising considering you're up against a Sarkei. Whenever you get ultimate as a Poseidon or any mid-mage, no matter how many protections you have, that ultimate damage is going to go through you. So either way, it'll keep him alive a little bit against Wowie instead, though.
And on top of that, you can keep an eye on Zapman there, who's gone into Brawler's Beat Stick, which isn't an item you see too often on the Hunters, but they do need a lot of anti-heal against a Raw, against the Sylvanas as well. And no investments in relics towards Onks. No other people have anti-heal just yet.
It's a lot of cost-effective items coming out of Eager. You're even looking at DJ Pernicus picking up the Stone of Binding, and this is something that a lot of Kabrakans will elect to do, because anytime you find that hard crowd control, obviously you run at them, then the rest of your team is just going to have 10 extra penetration.
And you talk about the hard crowd control. Well, Kabrakan's one of the ones with more hard crowd control than most. 2 stuns involved in his crit. Tremis doesn't get classed as a hard crowd control, neither does the ultimate, but having 2 stuns is enough to proc that at least twice a fight.
Especially considering the range of the passive. It's also 70 units there.
That's huge.
It's basically an auto attack range of a Hunter. Or slightly more, sorry, 55.
55 is Hunter range of auto attack, so it's more than that, which is great when you think about how far back in a team fight a Hunter will be positioned.
Absolutely. Still doing a good job being a bully is Uzi, getting the better end of Divios. And Divios is now at a point where he has maxed out his second ability, so he will have the HP 5, but he's not going to get best use of the HP 5 if Uzi is consistently hitting him.
Notice this a couple of times coming out from Eager as well, how Divios likes to go for Heartward Amulet, but 1 second best is going to go for a ride back to the fountain, I was about to say, but the Aegis comes into play, and DJ was there to clean up Chapo, who couldn't escape.
Calculated play from the best, sitting at red health, 10% health, no problem. This is something that he's been used to dealing with every time a jungler comes on. He's been playing this game since the very beginning, so he calculated the play like, okay, I'm going to let Chapo go on me, I'm going to Kraken him in return, I have DJ Pernicus right around the corner, and not only that, also survive with my Aegis.
I'm looking at Chapo's build as well. It's a fine build. I'm looking more at the relics. He went for but he's gone for Blink for more initiation. Now, if he won for Aegis against the Kraken that we see coming out more often than not, he would have had more chance to survive there, totally, but just less engage options for the side of Noble.
And the problem was that there was no options for sustain to help out Chapo. The MLC stuff wasn't there. Wubbin wasn't there in position either to heal him. So had he had a little bit of sustain, he might have survived the Kraken a little bit and then could have potentially walked away.
Gold Fury has respawned again. Noble got the last 2 in a row, which is one of the reasons they've got this gold lead, as most of the towers, well, all the towers, are still standing. This next one, much more important, I want to say, totally in the grand scheme of how this game's going to go.
The later the game goes, the more valuable the Gold Fury gets, starting off at 190 gold to start things off, getting 8 gold per minute, and it's going to maximize there at 350 gold per player there.
And the Oracle is very important as well. Free ward there for Egan, now placed down. Not only that, the golden experience too. Even though it took 4 of them to do it, it still worked out well for them now, because they don't have to worry about getting dewarded around the Gold Fury. They've got permanent vision for the next little while.
This game is kind of like a roller coaster. It started off really slow, started to pick up a lot of pace, and now it's starting to slow down again, because a lot of these teams are still trying to figure out the right objective to do at the right time. I was very surprised earlier on, after the pick that Eager had onto Uzi for 30 seconds, that they had an option to do either the mid-tier 1 tower that was about 50% health, or the Portal Demon, but instead Eager elected to do neither of those, despite all the ultimates being expended from Noble.
It really feels like a bit of a seesaw battle here. The start of this battle, Noble, we're really in control of this, but with how the game's gone so far, it's starting to teeter back towards even again, like a scale. And now you kind of sat here like, okay, well, who's going to take the lead again now? Because Noble have done work, and I think that's one of the reasons the pace has slowed down, because Noble aren't as adventurous as they once were at the start.
And with this lead from Noble, it's not really too significant for them to guarantee themselves starting to start the Gold Fury, starting the Portal Demon without any sort of contention from Eager. So you're looking at which team is better in the mid to late game situation. And I feel like the sustain option between Stealth and Wubbin here is going to escalate Noble in a better spot as long as these team fights last a little bit longer. In order for Eager to really prevent that from happening, they're going to have to really synergize their ultimates together on the same targets.
Well, the problem is that Eager have a very good team fight combo with the amount of AoE that can group up together. Noble better at picks overall and resustaining and moving around the map if they can before this happens. Great pull onto DJ though, but not full investment just yet. The Aegis will absorb the damage from Wubbin's ultimate there. Bit of miscommunication, I feel, from Noble, because he didn't look like the rest wanted to engage there, where Wubbin was fiddling it a little bit.
Definitely wanted to get some relics online there from DJ Pernicus, and I like the idea here, because now, even though the ultimate from Wubbin is down, that Aegis is going to be a longer cooldown, so you have a little bit of a window here for both teams because the Wrath of Terror is going to obviously provide a lot of space control for Noble, so this could allow Noble to go in.
Well, the best is going to trade ults with Chapo there. Chapo gets back to safety, doesn't absorb much damage. Neither, realistically, does the best there as well. Gold Fury still being hanged on. Now without that Kraken, it's a little bit more tricky now for Eager to try and contest this gold.
Absolutely correct. Searing Pain still available. Ozzy taking a lot of damage, but nice pluck back into the backline. However, Divios is there to meet him.
As is Caldera as well, that's slowing them all down too. Round the back comes DJ. Great walls drop trap into. Wobbin's in a bit of trouble there, but Ozzy's in a worse position, but he's a little bit tankier. The snipe from Stealth will hit Divios and Zapman at the back to force them back a little bit more for now. But now Stealth continuing the chase, not by choice, but because Caldera and Scardy forcing him to.
Diving back into safety is Divios. That ice rink providing so much of a hassle for Noble to really get back into the team fight. We saw them wanting to chase it down, but they weren't able to because of all the slow and the misdirect. Even if you slightly position yourself towards the right, you'll be going towards a wall.
Divios came back in with the teleport there to keep them all busy in the back, and they're focusing him down. The bad news, one thing they're not doing is focusing maybe the Gold Fury, but no, Eager have pulled off that too. They come to help out Divios. The Whirlpool followed by the ice on the floor is causing so many problems, buying enough time for Divios to get away for a second until Chapo pulls him back in.
Great ultimate. Ozzy was there just in case. It spread onto the best. The Aegis is not available. Trying to get into the backline is MLC. Stealth throws out the beam, throws out the Searing Pain and gets it.
And now Aurora running for his life right now, surrounded by 5 members, and Stealth will claim that life as well as he turns the corner. Noble could go for the goal, but they want more kills. All the tier 1 tower in left. They won't find the kills as DJ just backed, but with 5 men here, Tolly, this tier 1 will not stand for long.
Wrath of Terror was back available for Wobbin, and the Aegis from DJ Pernicus was not. We talked about the difference of those cooldowns favoring Noble. They constantly looked to pull the Gold Fury. Eager responded in kind, but Salmon getting pulled into a bad situation.
The water's available for Ozzy too. He tries to burst Chapo down. The Aegis time to perfection just before Ozzy will come out of that. DJ may catch Chapo on the lazy back, and he will. And that's what happens when you don't keep an eye on your corner. The good news for Noble though, they get the Gold Fury.
Sometimes you gotta position yourself further away from the jungle if you're in one of these side lanes, because just like that, you never know who is gonna be lingering around that side. No wards from Noble to be able to spot the rotation from DJ, but either way, getting the Gold Fury and the Portal Demon, Noble are getting a slow and comfortable gold lead.
Hold your horses, because this Portal Demon's not gone down yet. DJ from the left, and from the right comes Divios as well, looking to secure this one. Noble will get the Portal Demon, but Eager looking to fight.
Wobbin gets caught in the Cabrakan ultimate, nowhere to go. That's going to be one pick so far. Best is doing a good job slowing Ozzy with
Gem of
Isolation, and the Whirlpool is going to prevent the pluck, but everybody's surrounding Ozzy. He can't pluck.
Oh, he gets away though through the skin of his teeth. Med comes into play too. The dive is good. Gem of Isolation and the Whirlpool will be enough for Aurora to pick it up with a belch. And now Team Eager can turn their attention to tier 1 in mid. Got to be a little bit careful about backdooring this with Stealth and Worry coming back though.
The Chapo has revived. He's looking for the side link pressure there. The rest of the members from Noble are also looking for any sort of potential damage that they can do to help Chapo find that execute rather, and make sure that somebody's going to be low enough to spread the poisons.
Surprising big win there for Eager, being able to just answer back that tier 1, get a couple of kills. A little bit
Fire
adventurous here.
Fire Giant is being started by Noble. All of Eager's on the left side. Only Aurora and Divios are here.
2 members are good enough there, and they're both very tanky to be able to absorb a lot, but Divios gets all in early, juggled in the air. He can't even get away from that at all. Ultimate was already on cooldown. Chapo credited with a kill. Now it's a 4v5. The rest of Eager are in base. It's only a raw hit. Teleport coming in.
Rallying Ritual being used. Searing Payments is not used in time, but Noble still get the gold, or the Fire Giant. DJ Pernicus is here using the Aegis. The Wobbin has used Meditate. Ozzy has made his rotation.
And now DJ surrounded, and he'll drop 2. Fire Giant on 4 members of Noble. They chase down the fat man through the jungle, but Aurora will get back to the safety of Zap. Noble, rather, would go for the best.
Chapo blinking in, finding the best with the poison taunts, but not electing to go any further than that. Stealth not having his ultimate to really find any sort of follow-up. Chapo still chasing down the best as the rest of his team secures that tier 1 mid tower. This game has just been so back and forth.
It has, but Noble still have the lead now. There was moments in this game that Eager took it in experience, but this is all Noble right now, Tolly.
Absolutely. They're doing a great job using the tactical advantages that Eager is providing them. Like, Eager takes a pick here and there. They go to the left side, but they leave too much exposed on the right. Normally it's Eager that kind of stretches you, pulls and pushes you around the map, but now it's actually Noble.
I will say the problem I can see from Eager's point of view here is trying to get themselves grouped for the all-in as a team. They keep staggering the all-in with the ultimates going off one after the other. They're not been on the same cooldown, and when that is the case, that's where Noble can shine a little bit, when their composition works better with the mobility and the sustain.
Something that Eager did really well earlier on this game was using DJ Particus as kind of a baiting tool to be able to counter-engage and look for plays off of that, but now Noble are just doing a good job sticking together. It's very difficult for Eager to find those same opportunities, and if you're going to fight Noble head-on 5-on-5 while you just look at each other like a kind of a standoff sign, you're not going to really be able to win against Noble here because of all the sustain.
Well, we saw one ritual so far in terms of the rallying ritual used. Now we've got a frenzied ritual coming online as well, which will give an extra boost towards Noble's team fight potential in the next engagement, which should probably be around the tier 2 and left.
It definitely should be. The mid one was taken earlier on, and this is the most important lane to be pushing with the Fire Giant. Still having it for 2 more minutes is Noble, and the reason why you want to go for the dual lane side is the furthest away from Fire Giant. So you want to be able to sync up getting the Phoenix and flooding the Fire Minion
Blink
wave.
from DJ, but plucked away by Ozzy. Immediately they go on Ozzy though with a flop, followed up by Devios, who gets hit by the tail whip, and now he's turned on as well. No escape for Devios here. Chapo now in the rotation from mid lane 2. Devios full investment onto him from the team. Gonna ult early on to make sure he's got that shield alive. On the front line though, Ozzy bit off more than he could chew, and Zapman gets a double kill. Flop to the back line from Aurora as well, and Eager push back.
Too much invested was Ozzy diving the backline instead of trying to kill onto Devios. The shield was just too much. Eager's not done chasing yet, despite the Fire Giant onto Noble.
And
they're gonna knock up.
And there's the Whirlpool, the Gem of Isolation, and the tree will fall. We will hear it scream. Eager now with 5 members strong. That was against 4 members with a Fire Giant there, Toli. Eager can now look for a tier 2 in the left.
Just too aggressive was Ozzy earlier on, and this is the passive now of Devios taken into full effect. He has 2 stacks of that now, which allows his team to get that kind of mobility and the power spike to be able to not only run away from the members of Noble, but also chase up to them.
Not just that, not just the tier 2 tower on the left-hand side, not just a team fight, not just the purple buff and the red. The Gold Fury is also available here for Eager to take. This will put them at least even in terms of gold.
Eager couldn't have asked for a better situation for them. Noble needs to drag on these team fights for as long as possible, using the sustain options from Stealth and Wubba. Now, granted, like if we look at the team composition and the items from Eager, they have Aurora playing the Bacchus. They also have a Pestilence on him, so that's going to provide a decent amount of anti-healing. Also having the Brawler's Beatstick here for Zaman, but the thing is, Noble, they need to recognize this, and they just need to still, they can't like burst Eager the same way Eager can burst Noble.
Very small mistake from Eager there that we don't normally see, where they all back together and didn't recognize the Portal Demon was going to be up at the same time. Very well abused by Noble, however, to make sure they do answer back some of the gold they lost at the Gold Fury there and keep control around the Fire Giant for a little bit longer.
Eager had a lot of gold in hand after those 2 towers and the Gold Fury, the buffs that they got all on the left-hand side, not to mention winning that team fight gives them a huge gold spike as well. So managing to get back into this game now, not being too far behind down, only about 2,500 gold at the 29 min mark. That's pretty much negligible.
Oh, they find a pull on Devios, and Devios is in a world of hurt, juggled in the air over and over again. Get out of here, son. Now it's a 4v5, but the bad news for Noble, the Fire Giant's still not available, and there's nothing they can really do with all the towers being down too.
That's also 2 ultimates that had to be used, a Wrath of Terror and Circuit ultimates, so that's a pretty big tool in terms of finding picks. Eager can still take advantage of this, even without Devios still being alive. If Eager force a team fight within the next 25 seconds, make it last for another 10, Devios will be there with the teleport to clean up.
That's a good point. Now the Fire Giant's about to spawn, 2 more seconds, and Eager will just be on defense here, making sure Noble can't commit to it. Ozzy on the front line, trying to keep them busy, keep them honest on the side of Eager. Aurora doesn't care about that, neither does DJ. The 2 tanks of the team walk forward to position themselves well.
Nice job by Chapo, ambushing away from danger. The Magai's Blessing going to absorb that stun from DJ. No potential follow. Fire Giant was flirted with for a little while from Noble, but recognizing that Devios is
And there's that ward. The ward on the right hand side, the Zap just dropped. It could be one where you can see a teleportation coming in from Devios too. Ozzy's been focused down here by Caldeir and the best 2. The juggle is good, but Chapo goes to to the back, eats a Kraken to the face. Still alive though, but forced out to the right-hand side. Meanwhile, on the front side, DJ gets a good ultimate off on 3 members of Noble, and with the Whirlpools coming down and Caldeir too, Zap will pick up 1. Stealth Snipe was good, but not good enough.
Eager are not done chasing quite yet. They're going to force Noble all the way back to that tier 2 tower. Roar's going to be the one-man zoning here as the rest of his team is going to start up the Fire Giant. And yet again, without those 2 ultimates from Chapo and Wubbin, there was no realistic way for them to really win this team fight.
Roar's going to sacrifice his life and get attention paid to him instead of the team of the Fire Giant, who now have it. Eager, 4 members with the Fire Giant. Ozzy teleported into the back here, was looking to try and defend the Fire Giant. Instead, he may lose his life.
He's going to get crippled, could not pluck away from that one. 2 picks now for Eager. They have Fire Giant onto these 4 members, and honestly, if there's one member on a team you want to sacrifice to be able to secure the Fire Giant, it's definitely the support onto Aurora here, doing a great job. And now Eager, despite not having a goal lead, they're still in the driver's seat here, having a huge buff in this late game.
So where did Noble start to fall off at the start of this game? They had such a good lead, Tolly. Was it more down to the fact that once they got those towers, there was nothing else they could really do when Eager was still alive?
They're just blowing too many ultimates onto Divios. Left-hand side, they couldn't find the kill onto Divios, and Eager managed to turn that fight on its head completely. Right-hand side, they did find the pick onto Divios, but the problem was Divios didn't use his ultimate, so when he went back into the team fight with the teleport, having a lot of control, being also paired up with the Kabrakan ultimate from DJ Pernicus, everyone from Noble was just locked in. Wubbin didn't have his ultimate, Chapo didn't have his ultimate. It was an easy clean-up team fight for Eager.
Very tricky, though, for Noble to try and get to the ones they would like to focus their ultimates on, though. I mean, you want to get Zapman, you want to get the best, but you've got 3 frontliners that are going to be in your face all the time that you have to take down first.
I don't mind Noble necessarily going on to Divios here, but they're just expending these ultimates that's just not necessary. You could still go for poke and not have to commit these ultimates. Let Divios run away. He'll be at about 25 to 50% health anyway, or maybe you'll just force his ultimate and then he'll have to run away.
So sometimes it's not worth taking the kill. It's better to leave them weakened.
Well, you just don't want to commit multiple ultimates onto one target such as this. There's certain circumstances where you do want to invest multiple ultimates onto one target, but in that encounter, it just was not working, and obviously Noble getting the worst end of things.
Well, power play situation for Eager now as they have the Fire Giant, and with Caldeir and Zapman on that Skadi, they will shred towers down relatively quickly. They're going to answer back, and now the game is almost even, slightly in favor of Eager in terms of position on the map of how the towers have gone down. The experience, that'll matter less and less as we're hitting 30 minutes now, well past 30 minutes, and everyone should be hitting level 20.
You can never count down a team such as Eager having so much experience individually as well as a team and a unit being together since the beginning of Season 3. This team has been through thin and thick.
And now on the right-hand side, they're waiting for minions to come in. DJ, got to keep Chapo honest on the left-hand side, making sure he can't wrap around the back and look for the squishy targets. And Aurora and Divios will lead the troops in. Belch is good to stun out Ozzy for now. Flop follow-up, a different story. However, great pull from Wubbin, but the focus was on the tower from Eager there, not on the fight. And now the fight, different story.
Divios finding multiple people on the knockup, uses his ultimate, Kraken onto Chapo, just being a distraction, forcing the ultimate from both Best and Zamet, but cannot get away from this Fatalis and the Gem of Isolation from the Best.
And that's the only person the Noble have to really get to this back line here, Tolly, is Chapo. So it looks like he's throwing his life away. More than not, he's making sure they waste the Kraken on him and not the rest of his team for a big old wombo combo. Bad news is, though, Chapo keep falling down means the Eager get a power play all the time.
This strategy from Chapo used to work earlier on in the game, but now with the Best having this combination of Poseidon, Gem of Isolation, Fatalis, the staple 2 items that makes Poseidon's a Poseidon, basically, he cannot do this option anymore, unless he decided to go for a Wingblade option here on the side of Circuit, but instead going for the Gem of, the Stone of, not the Stone of God, I'm sorry, the Mad Guy's Blessing, rather.
Spirit Robe, more than likely.
Spirit Robe is going to be the next item here for Chapo, making sure that he gets a lot of damage mitigated. Or it could potentially be, no, it's going to be the Mantle Discord.
Yeah, I think we'll see Mantle in Discord more than likely. Spirit Robe's not something we see too often anyway, especially with the cooldown that he's got available to him. But this is a great position for Eager to be in now. They've taken down all the towers with the last Fire Giant. Fire Giant is due to expire shortly. So I think the next play, Tolly, will be the next Fire Giant fight where both teams will be fighting over this one, because if you get the Fire Giant here, you pretty much win the game is what I'm going to say.
Yes, the respawn timers are going to be very long. It's the 35-minute mark. This is the point in time where one pick can make the difference of an entire game, because before, when Noble found a pick onto Divios, it's about a 40 to 45 second pick, but if Noble find the same pick onto Divios this time, it's going to be about 60 seconds. That extra window of time is definitely going to allow Noble to get some of their ultimates back in time before one of these members respawn.
Two Hunters are the top in the player damage right now. Zatman has Flickering Ritual online as well, so an extra escape tool for him, or an engage if he so chooses. It's not something you see too often with an engaging Hunter, but it could happen.
Panda Cat playing Artemis, the Blink ultimate. This is one Hunter that knows how to play aggressive. And whenever I think of Zaman, I also think of Panda Cat and vice versa a little bit. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's a small hint of crazy still remaining in Zaman somewhere there.
Well, with Ego investing into rituals, more frenzied available now for DJ Pernicus too after his trip back to base. Noble focused on wards in their inventory, so they've got better control around this Fire Giant. There's no sentries in the inventory of Ego here, so they're going to have to try and keep vision of this Fire Giant at all times, or Noble may look for a cheeky steal.
Best is doing a good job just throwing out those whirlpools, slowing anybody in that range. Uzi's going to be the first victim of it. Now dropping a regular ward there. Spots it out is Noble, but not in range of the sentry ward, so having a little bit of vision is Noble.
Such an awkward position now for both teams to be in. Mainly Noble, who want to get to that back line, but are struggling to do so as this game has gone on. Woobin and Ozzy have done good work on the front line, but they don't manage to get the damage to the back for now. The dance will continue for a while, and I'm expecting it'll be more than likely be Eager that are the engagers.
DJ Pernicus looking to go behind that Fire Giant, looking to catch somebody out of position, potentially a squishy, having the blink option available. Woobin is going to get engaged on the ice rink, putting him towards the Fire Giant.
Aurora, though, taking a bit of poke damage from Ozzy as well, and Stealth in tow. Round the right-hand side, though, it's Chapo versus Pern, and Pern's having some of this. So are the boys of Eagers, they all dive in too. Woobin's ult was beautiful. The Kraken, even better. That will take out Woobin, making it a 4v5 already. Aurora turning his attention towards Ozzy, making him forced out of the fight. The backline of Noble is still healthy, though.
Frenzied Ritual being used. DJ Pernicus finds the blink, caging off Stealth, nowhere to go, using the tremors. The rest of Eager is still trying to collapse because they're splitting their targets. They were on Wowie, but they trusted in themselves to find Wowie and Stealth at the same time.
And Ozzy and Chapo were trying to run away, but the Fatalis plus Gem of Isolation. Chapo ain't going nowhere. Zapman will get credit for the kill, 19-5, and immediately Eager turned their attention to
This is game. Yeah, absolutely. Sure? Yes, this is going to be game. It's only Ozzy here. He doesn't have lurking in the water. They're going to be able to grab this right side Phoenix. Without lurking in the water, he's not going to be able to really do enough damage to all 5 members of Eager.
No minions just yet. The Titan will be weakened. All the towers are down. Just 2 Phoenixes remaining. Ozzy's trying to peel them off as best he can, but it's not going to stop it at all. Eager will take game 1. Whoo! What a set.